Akali, I was going to say, look, it's a perfect Azir angle now. You've got the Gangplank, you've got the late game scaling. The Akali, a little bit riskier.
That is a Showmaker pick. Of that alongside Sponge. So I do like what this composition does. I do think that Dplus, if they are able to start snowballing, it's going to roll real fast.
Yeah, that's definitely true really well. But I think if you mess it up as Dplus, there's so many ways this can go wrong. As Sponge is coming up here right now, does have ult and flash.
Yep, Kingen does have oranges. The little hop does come in. You can actually oranges out of that one as Kingen's looking to keep himself alive. It does not work. And Sponge going to punch him in the back of the head and grab first blood.
Big win here for Sponge. You got it.
Yeah, maybe it was Ox's opportunity to talk about the opportunity.
Kingen is way up here with no flash.
Does he have more oranges? That is the question, as Pled is just going to walk towards him. Barrel is going to come on through here as Rascal's throwing the boomerangs down, and yeah, there's a Vi here once again. And Kingen is very, very much going to be dead. Well, it's going to take a while, and then he's going to be dead. There he goes. There he goes. He's dead now.
Teddy gets the kill, and that's a Ziggs in the side. Uncontested aiming will get some plate gold again here, bottom side. But they're going to get a lot of value up here with the Ziggs, and the whole turret will go down whenever Teddy decides to satchel it. There it is.
Yeah, barely even needed to be honest, because they were making swift work of that turret.
Yeah.
Aiming is trying to get through this bottom outer, but you can see with all of these grubs being picked up, DRX are just destroying these turrets one after the other. That should be an inner very, very early on. I mean,
yeah.
It is 5 grubs, and that's because they just haven't quite killed the 6th one. There it goes.
Showmaker, if he TPs, he's in trouble too, and they're just going to take this out. Another satchel, double turret, and
if they were, you know, making a list. Is all right. More satchel range to come through here as the Void Mites come on down.
He doesn't have a front line, doesn't have strong engage. Dplus are in a little bit of trouble here.
Yeah, and Lucid just hasn't been the proactive player that we've seen him as for quite some time, you know. Hasn't been able to find the angles as Pletter is now going to get hand shook back. There's the Arctic Assault. They get the Permafrost onto the Leona there as well, and normally don't engage onto a Leona, or maybe that is still going to be the case here as Showmaker gets into the Shroud, and my god, the damage from the Nara is massive, but the answer is still going to be there from DRX, from Dplus. As Teddy, can he land these water balloons? That's the question. The answer is no, doesn't quite have the arm for it. Dplus also, the fact that they were able to answer somewhat, definitely positive, especially after putting so many cooldowns into a Leona, which we generally frown upon here in the LCK, or just everywhere.
Yeah, generally not a good idea.
Yeah, generally not. As Lucid is over the Weaver's wall. Yeah, who is going to be able to move on in, though. You can see they just want to get towards this soul point. Let's see whether Lucid can get there. And they are able to set it up for the Rent. Great handshake there as well. As Sponge finds himself in no man's land. The snipe is beautiful, and Kellen's Renata, man. Doesn't matter the game state, you can always find an angle. As now Rascal, speaking of angles, is heading towards this mid lane where the Rift Herald has done so much work. This should be another turret. Yeah, it will be.
Yep, there's the satchel. Bye-bye.
Down a single target, and then allowing Showmaker and Kingen to sort of clean up these fights afterwards in the mayhem. Certainly something that these champions can do as barrels come on down. That is a tanky Sejuani, but maybe not tanky enough as the Mega Inferno Bomb comes in. But oh my goodness, the hostile takeover is too powerful! And there's Showmaker with a perfect execution. Not able to quite backflip over the wall though, but still, Dplus looking for more. Satchel to try and keep Teddy safe, and it will be able to do so for now. Heck out of dodge. Sees them and then Q's over the wall. He wants out of here as Kingen maybe wanted out of here as well, as he's going to use the oranges. Flash does have the cannon barrage down. They're taking so much damage under the turret. Kingen takes the first one. Now Rascal's gonna die. It's a double kill for the Gangplank from the grave. Somehow Kellen lands that handshake. I don't know how he does it. Go-Go Gadget hands or something.
And so Sponge eating way too much turret damage here. Rascal stuck under the turret while he's trying to look for the wall up there. And it's just a disaster here. Great handshake from Kellen. Speaking of...
Yeah, there's another one. Pletter is going to have to flash to get himself out of the way as the barrel not quite in there, as maybe Kingen's overextended now, but the hostile takeover through the entire choke point. And Rascal can't do it this time. Yeah, who's going to get knocked up? The Ren should be there. The Pierce certainly is. But the Mega Inferno Bomb is massive, and Teddy picks up a double. Cue the yakety sax. This game is going completely bananas.
It definitely is. At the end of the day, though, Kellen sets up some really big plays there. He actually has enough time to get over here, rotate in on this Talia. Doesn't have Weaver's Wall to split up Dplus, though, and they have to walk to the phalanx of barrels.
Yeah, and they've got Cannon Barrage and Glacial Prison, and look at this. There is 0 vision available. This dragon is gonna belong to Dplus. They will take that one down with item.
I love the Axiom arc follow-up here as well, where he's just like, Kellen's the real carry. Let's just put him in that ult as much as possible.
It works. Kellen's been having a great game. Is now Lucid, possibly overextended. Not going to quite find it here with the Vault Breaker. Did Sponge as the barrels not landing onto Rascal there, but he still has to get out. He's not as tanky as he needs to be if he wants to be taking these barrels.
With TP, I mean, he can just keep pushing here.
Rascal might just be dead. Kellen's coming through, and he really wants to shake his hand. There's the flash, Cannon Barrage. Not really doing anything. I don't know whether that was a button that needed to be pressed. You've still got some resets coming in, and like you were saying, Showmaker just being a nuisance in the bottom lane.
Yeah, I mean, he's just putting the pressure on bottom side here. Dplus not quite able to catch the Gnar. They haven't really taken that many turrets off of the map, so it's a little bit tough to actually set that one up there, unfortunately. But at the end of the day, though, you could see the power of Dplus just sitting in his chokes.
That really hurts. All right, Trial by Fire needs to come through for that big damage, and aiming just says it doesn't need to be there. Hostile takeover, and Rascal, he flashed before. He doesn't have it available now, as Kellen will be punished. But that is a 2-for-1, and yeah, Teddy might be fed, but they're just not fighting where he can do anything about it.
Yeah, he's fighting in chokes only, Pleto.
Oh, okay, Showmaker diving on in. That is the entire kitchen sink down on top of Showmaker, but he'll go into his shroud, and he might just be okay. The backflip over the wall, the Arctic Assault to do the same thing as Kingen. He is still looming in the brush, but doesn't find the barrel chain. Oh, that means he's definitely not going to be here for this fight. Let's see whether Teddy can get a Mega Inferno Bomb over. He does have it available, and he is in range, but this is just dead. It's just gone. Went down to 83, but it doesn't seem to matter because there was no one in the pit.
He will get the ult back up in the longer fight here, but Dplus complete control.
And Rascal does have a Gnar in a decent position, and I guess you could argue that Elder is more important, and it absolutely is, as now Pleto with the Eclipse is able to tank up a few of these barrels. The 3-man to come through, and now the Cannon Barrage on top of it. Teddy's the target, but he is able to get himself out of there with that Seraph shield. Showmaker's looking for him, though, and there's a 5-point strike. And now the perfect execution. This should be the cleanup for Dplus. And there is no response from DRX, and I think Dplus might just try and push through.
Very clean fight for Dplus in the latter half of the game, just playing the map better. DRX had a huge lead, lost all the dragons though, couldn't contest, couldn't break through the barrels as Rascal.
Oh, yeah. I don't think Rascal's going to be surviving this one. Oh, maybe he is, because Dplus are distracted by the base.
Yeah, I think they're a little bit more interested in killing the Nexus than killing the Yordle there, as Kellen's going to stop his backs as well. He can't even get home.
Just shaking his hand over and over again. He will get gnawed into the wall and likely loses this 1v1, but maybe the base will die first, as Pleta's being ignored at the same time. There is the death for Kellen as Mega Inferno Bomb comes on through, but it is 2 turrets and a dead Leona, and then the next
threats to get on top of this pig. And my biggest weird thing about this draft for Dplus is that the draft feels in some ways very disjointed. You have the Vine lane.
Yeah,
Amy
and Kellen are keeping them low as well, as we can see. Then he does have a biscuit as Lucid's making his way in. There's the Eclipse. Great handshake and first blood onto Teddy, and I don't think they're done just yet. They're going to try and set up for this kill here, as Aiming's the one that picks up the aggro. He'll get away from the turret, though, as a teleport does come on through. Aiming just walks it off, and that is a plate goal. As we can see, the Vi getting to work on the Drake. They will have full information, as the Dragon's going to yell when it dies. Sponge is on a ward here as well, so his position is given away at the same time. There's the buffer from Yahoo this time. Dplus. A lot of that coming from this bottom lane, as you were talking about. Those 2 kills going over to Lucid, of course, as now Kellen finds himself in a very uncomfortable spot, which is called the Death Chamber.
Yeah, that's it's a Sejuani over there.
Yeah.
Not going to be able to, on this Ezreal they want to punish, but it looks like he's holding it for a little bit.
Yeah, Showmaker throwing some rocks around here, as in comes Lucid. There's the cease and desist. And Sponge is in a real rough spot. There's the flash forward, the threaded volley comes down. Yahoo is in position though. Showmaker does get the kill, but goes down immediately afterwards. And Rascal, with the teleport in, is going to make sure that there's nothing else to be gained, as Lucid is on a merry jaunt through the enemy jungle, and he will take the disengage cone. Shout outs to Valdez.
Eddie's getting some free plate gold over here meanwhile, but yeah, Definitely could have gone better there for Dplus, but at the end of the day, I think they're pretty happy with the scenario. They still have a lot of control as Showmaker comes in.
Yep, looking for Teddy now as well as he's on these rocks. Can Arcane shift out of them, but I don't think it's going to matter. He is going to go the other direction, tries to throw down as many abilities as possible, but Lucid says Vault Breaker. And Teddy is going to be lying on the floor.
As
so,
the Nah.
and that will be the top outer turret taken here, I believe. A little bit of a race here, and oftentimes you just say, yeah, Tristana's probably going to win.
Yeah,
especially with Rascal. Protect this turret that is...
It's done so.
Yeah, it's really basically just standing there already dead, so it is going to be removed. And DRX, we often talk about for the Ezreal, so Muramana almost done. Sponge going to be spotted here. There's a wallop. Nara into the wall there at the same time as Vault Breaker comes on in. Rascal, relatively tanky though, and so is Showmaker seems to be completely fine. Rascal continues to be toyed with here underneath the turret, and there's the hop, skip, and a jump. And there is a dead Jax under the turret. Meanwhile, I mean, there's sort of fights happening everywhere as the teleport immediately towards this mid lane. Showmaker's going to turn up. Should be able to help take down this outer turret. Meanwhile, in the bottom lane, same thing's going to be happening here as Rift Herald was dropped and now is getting escorted by Kingin. Turret goes down on the top side, but can they actually save Kellen as a seismic shove? Oh, the handshake actually kind of wrecks Showmaker there, but it does not matter at all. Pleta is still real dead, and Teddy just had to watch.
I think Pleta played that extremely well. Kingin's going to get this turret, so even though Tristana is pushing top, this is a much bigger win for Dplus overall. You can see Kingin pulls ahead. Dplus don't want to fight without optimal setup for the Aphelios. Now he's got it.
Yeah. Oh man, there is so much vision control here as well. Showmaker can cut off this fight at a moment's notice at the same time as there's the attempted escape from Lucid. He does manage to flash away and then not able to get in for the smite. So that's going to be the first rake for DRX. Can they get themselves out of here, though? That's the question as Kingin chasing after Sponge. Cease and desist. He goes so incredibly far, but Yehu still not able to keep himself alive. The handshake to save Lucid. He also had the bailout as the hostile takeover just barely not enough, but the double knockback on the Vault Breaker is decent. Rascal still able to take down Lucid, but I think it's still a big win for Dplus. And Kellen once again chasing after Rascal. What is this? This is personal beef between these two players.
Starting to feel like it, but I think it's more of a story of DRX losing objective fights and Rascal being the last man standing. He is going to be able to get the execute, it looks like here. Kellen can't catch up with him, so he's going to get it. Down he goes. Oh, so close.
That was really close.
Just been so confident that DRX are not going to try to sneak a Baron under their eyes. Okay.
All right, there's Season Assist onto Teddy. Does Arcane shift, but they fall into the seismic shove. Oh, Kellen! Kellen out of the seismic shove. This time he's like, oh no, don't worry, Showmaker, I got you.
I just want Kellen to go win Worlds now and give us like a lasso skin for Renata.
Oh, heck yeah.
Give me that lasso, because he is just roping him in over and over again. As DRX get a second consolation drink, maybe. Kingin has something to say about it.
Yeah, he's able to throw a bunch of rocks in here. It's okay, they do get the dragon. Over the wall now, but Showmaker looking for a little bit. Seismic shove. Has to flash to get himself out of the way, but look at these health bars. They're going down so quickly. And Pleta, he's going to have to be the sacrificial Leona. Lucid going to be able to take him down. They've got the Baron now, though. They're looking to push, and now with a man advantage.
They get the wipe, and the game is just over. And they still end up getting a big win. Oh, over here.
We got another little battle happening here, or maybe it's a big battle as Cease and Assist goes so far. It's once again the Tristana falling down though, and on the other side, the Vi is going to get rid of the Ezreal. No more damage remains. And even though they managed to get the little dragon, DRX not going to be able to find too much more. Lucid also not too worried about this whole situation as Showmaker, cool guys don't look at explosions, and doesn't watch while his jungler takes down the support. Rascal once again is just wandering elsewhere on the map because he's just not welcome in his own base right now.
He could have just gone back, but wanted to try to stop them from taking that turret out. But it's a Baron buff, he's alone, commits a teleport, gets nothing out of it, so just -1 teleport for your side laning Jax. I mean, this game is practically over, but that would have been a nice tool for another objective, you know, in the future. He's not going to have it here. 3 minutes until the next dragon, maybe he'll be able to get, they got it back here, Lucid.
Yeah, and look, like, DK are like, yes, you can have a third Mountain Drake. We will take your Nexus. And how do you feel about that trade? Is now Kingin going to get jumped on here as he just crushes away from the Solar Flare? There's the Weavers all trying to get the stragglers, and he'll find two as That's just not going to work there, Rascal. Unfortunately, the counter-strike doesn't work, and aiming is going to be out of bounds. Hostile takeover is gorgeous once again for Kellen. And Dplus, they're like the Harlem Globetrotters now. They are just walking all over DRX. And I think that this one, it's been over for a while, but I think it's well and truly over now.
It's definitely done now. DRX, a valiant attempt, but Dplus gonna go up to 6-1.
And now we completely understand why the first pick buy came in 9-1-7 for Lucid. Absolutely phenomenal performance. Everybody else augmenting this composition gorgeously on Dplus.